Good morning, blue sky. Real Z-Man here. You're working with me today in the yard. Everything is go, go, go today. We've got our massive donation effort to support homeless outreach efforts here in Washington County, Washington State, Washington Country, it seems, now that we've been branded traitors by Bill O'Reilly. Washington State being deemed a state by him in full rebellion to the Union, much like the South was considered back in the day. So now in Bill O'Reilly's enfeebled mind, the Liberal Party, us resistors, are the betrayers that the South were in the Civil War, but only by legal definition, because the Southern folks were resisting tyranny from the North, whereas we're just a bunch of terrorists, domestic terrorists soon to be. Things are changing rapidly. That's a fact. You've got to adapt or die. What does this mean? Just know this. With the push of a button, all your phones can turn off. All your internet accounts turn off. All your Teslas turn off. All your bank accounts are frozen. This is the takeover that they've been planning. Why do you think they went after our financial records first? When Elon and his terrorist Dodge boys ransacked the information Bank of America, they took everything from us. Every account you ever had, every account you have. And now they're going to use that information. They're going to use that information to freeze your accounts. Yep. That's what's going to happen. And that might happen today. I'm not sure. It would just be like Donald Trump to try to acquire Martin Luther King Day. You know, wouldn't it be just like him to appropriate that day for himself as some sort of victory day for America, for us having the good luck to have him? And on the day that he forms a partnership with Russia called the Peace Force that he's putting together, the Peace Board he's putting together, is basically the same move that Hitler did with Stalin before the war. Obviously, most of you know that. But expect today, if not in the immediate future, some extreme things to happen. You have to ask yourself, how am I prepared? How am I prepared? I'm here doing my community service, business, organization effort, whatever. Trying to get it put away so I can close the gates. Now, it's not too panicked, but I got to tighten up. We're going to go stock up on our water like we always have. We'll take a run to the grocery store. We're going to go to the vet. We're going to get all the medicines we need for the cats. All the medicines we need for us. Thankfully, are few. We're going to fill up all the diesel rigs. We're going to drum up diesel. I'm going to go check on the boats. Make sure they're running. And we're going to see what the fuck is going to happen. Because A lot of you people out there are still in this delusional state that when he declares War Powers Act, when he declares an Insurrection Act, you think they're not just going to go get rid of all the judges and people that stand in their way, brand them traitors as well, have their Proud Boys, their motorcycle gangs, their neo-Nazi affiliates do it? That's what Russia did, remember? Maybe you don't. They had all the Russian motorcycle gangs go around and kill all the liberals one by one. Ran them over, beat them to death, burned them out, threw them out windows. Now, this is coming from a guy who's been targeted a few times. There's a reason I'm still here. I have a little bit prepared, and I managed to catch him every time. And then the tables are turned. But you, if you're a liberal agitator, so to speak, and you're not looking over your shoulder every single day, you're taking your life in your hands. You better get that gun. If you don't already have it out. You have very little time now. Trump is the Epstein files. He's one of the major players in this international pedophile ring, which is really an organ harvesting ring. They're just harvesting the poor to take our kidneys, to take our eyeballs, to drain us of our adrenal fluids, and our blood, milk us until we're milked, and then dispose of us at sea in these dumping grounds or just incinerate us. Food for the kings of the world. That's my take on it. Looking at history, looking at everything. I just don't know what else it could be, because is it all about sex and fun and games? No. Where do all these victims go? You know where they go. But why would you get rid of a perfectly good person? And that's what the Nazis were working on. This is what the Nazis kept working on. This is what the modern leaders of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world, if you trace them back, you'll see that about 1 out of 3 of them has origins from Nazi money or Japanese money that was associated with that, I believe, 731 unit in Manchuria. Might be wrong in the number there, but the leading distributor of the vaccine in Asia was founded by one of the original members of that Japanese unit. Yeah? So that's a fact. That's a fact. You can look that one. You look at the modern day origins, you can reference Martin Bormann, a book written about Martin Bormann by, his name will come to me here, it's such a name, I swear they've blanked me out. I've been mind blown so many times by the Men in Black, I can never remember these guys' names. Or that, I got too many names rattling around my head. But Martin Bormann, his whole thing was to get all the Nazi intellectual property and assets out of Germany well before the war. Well before the war. And he did it. He took them to Argentina, he took them all over South America, every single country in some capacity. But he took the pharmaceutical rights and he spread those around, and then they bounced them back eventually to us. So theoretically, we're already under the control of the Nazis, one of the 3 companies. So, looking at Trump now, the man who slept with Mein Kampf on his bedside table since he was a child, obviously given to him by his father. And look at what he would do. Look at how they've emulated these Nazis. Look at how they've made outright references in almost every action they've taken to some form of Nazi slogan or tactic. What do you think's going to come next? These guys aren't playing cosplay anymore. They're trying to hide the crimes of the international cabal of organ harvesting, sex trafficking, arms dealing war criminals. That if we really knew what was going on, they'd all be gone the next day. And they're trying to hide that reality. It's becoming increasingly harder and harder. But Trump, his goal right now, once he declares the War Powers Act, once he declares that in an insurrection act, once that he defines everyone that he wants to define as an enemy of the state, it's an open season. They can put bounties out on you like they did with the terrorists. They can cancel all your accounts immediately, and that's the first thing they're going to do. They're compiling lists right now. They're doing all that. They're getting your name. They're checking it twice. Maybe not even that. And then they're just going to turn it all off one day. Your cards won't work. You won't have any money. And the next time you get pulled over or go past a plate scanner, you're going to be tagged as a criminal to pull over. It's all automated. This is why Elon took your information. This is why Putin is doing this, because he's taking us over. And I honestly, at this point, I'd almost elect Putin to office after have to go through all this bullshit. He's got us by the balls now.